Greetings, Jiu Jitsu nerds. How's it going? I'm a one-man, one-woman show today, so I'm going to try to handle getting all of these highlights shown to you guys from ADCC San Diego Open. I feel like this is the opens are really important to cover because I think these are what's going to be the foundation of a lot of storylines going into a lot of these kids' future because they'll probably have a lot of matches that they'll eventually see in super fights, and they can go back and say, "Oh, we have a rivalry. We've been back and forth, 1-1." So I think it's really important to pay attention now. I also think if you are a brand in jiu-jitsu, you should be paying attention to those kids divisions because if you aren't, you're probably missing out on some really important sponsorships to make. I think one of the brands that I've been noticing is doing a great job of getting the kids while they're young is Level X. So I think other people need to really hop on that as soon as possible. When I tried to get all the highlights in my little StreamYard thing, it capped me at 10. So we're gonna start off with the kids, and then I'm gonna try to get to some of the adults as well. But again, I can't use Flow Grappling highlights or else things will get demonetized. So I have scoured the internet because very few people emailed me highlights, and it will make it so much easier if people email me directly because that will make things so much easier. It's beastswithbrains@gmail.com, and that's going to be the email also for sponsorships coming up in the future. Bruno, I'm here at home in Virginia, and my cute dog is here. I want to show him to you guys eventually. All right, so let's take a look at what's up. The best social media manager in the world is here, and he is here to support. So for this live chat, we are just going to go through the intermediate and advanced. Sorry, no white belts will be featured on this broadcast, but the intermediate and advanced for both kids and adults is something that we will be looking into. Let's start out with the kids advanced. So ADCC San Diego, we also had the ADCC official account name which teams were the best, and let's see, team rankings top 10. So for the kids, Art of Jiu-Jitsu, everyone's familiar with Art of Jiu-Jitsu. They have probably one of the greatest kids programs in the country, or probably the world too. Atos HQ at number 2, Alpha Miami Grappling at number 3, number 4, 10th Planet Las Vegas, and number 5, Vision Checkmat. So those are the top 5 right now for ADCC. I think this is overall. I don't think this is, oh no, this is just for the San Diego Open. So those are all the people that came. Obviously, it's probably skewed more to West Coast schools because traveling all the way to San Diego is a mission if you're not on the West Coast already. So let's take a look at some of these kiddos. It's so funny that the adult division is 15 plus. Like, you could be a grown ass human and you're gonna have to go against a 15-year-old and try not to lose. And if you're here right now, make sure we smash that like button. I know in the beginning of any type of live chat, it's good to get likes going so we can push this out to other jiu-jitsu nerds. I'm trying to figure out where the kids list is. Why is it being like this? All right, let's just go from here. Starting out with whoa, that I saw on the ADCC live, or on the ADCC account. This girl representing Checkmat, Paisley, I believe is her name. Definitely a star on the rise. Let's see if I can get her. Paisley Nolan, she took second place. This is the minus 50 kg, 15 to 17-year-olds advanced division. And then the person that beat her is Bella Lopez out of Atos HQ. So again, these rivalries are getting set from a very, very young age. In third place was Julia Silva. And then in the rest of the girls divisions, girls 15 to 17, minus 55 kg, Nina Jacob from Gracie, South Bay. Over 65 kilograms was Jocelyn Baby Shark Molina out of Checkmat Olympus. And then now we're getting into the boys. Oh my gosh, minus 20 kg is so funny that these kids are learning jujitsu at such a young age, and they're literally um, tiny little menaces, honestly. But it's super good that they're learning self-defense at a young age because this is going to really help people not get bullied. Okay, up next, this is, I believe, a 10th Planet Vegas kid. If I'm not mistaken. I think he's also Filipino. So I always give my Filipino brethren a shout out. But again, this is the terror of the backpack game at 10 Planet Vegas. It's a very certain specific style that you get there. And I think it's honestly one of the most, yes, Base Gotti in the building. We're going to have some beasts in the future. I feel like really this is this type of stuff that we have to pay attention to because it is setting up the storylines for all the things that we're going to see in the future. I mean, we had the $1 million grappler Nicky Rod walk away with $1 million. Cade Rotolo walking away with $1 million. Which one of these kids do you see walking away with some big money? Because that is where the sport is growing. And if we don't pay attention now, we're going to be missing out on a few things. So who you just saw do an amazing example of what they're learning over there at 10 Planet Vegas is Ethan. Let me see his last name. I took notes on these kids too. No, this isn't Ethan Vistro, but Ethan. Okay, Ethan Griego, 10th Planet Vegas. He got third place in the boys 11 to 12 advanced division. So this is minus 40 kg. I'm going to have to talk to some kids' parents and try to remember how the belts work when you're a kid. I didn't start jiu-jitsu when I was a kid, so I have no idea. But another kid that is making waves in the kids' divisions is a gentleman that goes to Alpha Miami Grappling. His name is Caio Sains, and he won the 40 and 44 kilogram division for the 11 and 12-year-old bracket. So when these kids are going out and doing two divisions, I think that says a lot about how serious they are about the sport. Caio is again from Alpha Miami Grappling. And let's see if I got his highlights. Oh, he actually didn't post his highlights. A lot of these people didn't post their highlights. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like the first thing I am doing after, if I have, pretty crazy submissions. I 100% recommend people to do that if you are trying to grow your brand in the jiu-jitsu scene. I also notice, I think a lot of the kids don't have Instagram, and that's honestly a good thing. I miss the days when I didn't have all that stuff, but I also wonder from a marketing standpoint if it's, going in the wrong direction if these parents aren't at least getting their kid's name out there. Not saying it has to be an active account all the time, but where do people go to find information on the stars on the rise? I think it's super important to begin focusing on your marketability, and part of that is being present online. All right, let's see. Okay, this is a highlight reel from Arte Suave Elite. They put a lot of kids. Oh my gosh, they're so precious. Look at him in his nice gear. And look at his opponent with that hairstyle going on. I love it. Getting creative. When you're young, you can bleach your hair like that and dye it as much as you want. You will not have too much damage and it'll grow back. But I'm definitely never going blonde again because I like my hair healthy. So this is Ian Mondragon out of Art of Jiu-Jitsu. Ian Mondragon out of Art of Jiu-Jitsu. This was his super fight to warm up for ADCC San Diego, where he competed in the minus 32 kilogram division, AKA, for all you Americans, 70 pounds. Just little menaces. Level X gets all of them before they even, and a good win from him there. He didn't post anything about his ADCC highlights, but yes, the evolution of jiu-jitsu is going to be astounding. It's already astounding, honestly. I mean, we have seen so much from the younger divisions. All right, up next we have, okay, so we already talked about Caio Sains out of Alpha Miami Grappling, winning both the 40 and 44 advanced division for the kids. In the boys 11 to 12 advanced, that's minus 48 kg. We had Samuel Junko out of Alpha Miami Grappling as well. So dang, if you are about to have a child, it sounds like you should move to Miami and get your kid over there. The second place was Perseus Cooperman, who is also Alpha Grappling. And Samuel Junko was another kid who did 2 divisions. He did the minus 48 and the minus 52 kg. He also took first place against his teammate Perseus Cooperman. So at least those 2 came together and they got to fight each other. I mean, it's a little bit frustrating when you're traveling across the country and then you end up just taking on your teammate for 2 matches. So we got to get more people out there if you're on the West Coast competing at these ADCC Opens. Who else do we have? Boys 11 to 12, over 55 kilogram division. Jared Mojado, another Filipino out of Carlson Gracie Riverside. LOL, one of these divisions, boys 13 to 14 years. Oh, it's a beginner division. There was only one person and he got first place. Jack Davis out of 10th Planet, West LA. You know, sometimes you sign up and there's no one in your division. That's the unfortunate name of the game sometimes. All right, now we're getting up to the 13 and 14-year-old kids divisions, which at this point they are on the cusp of getting into that adult division and things. Oh, I know. Okay. Micah, 10th Planet Vegas. He won under 50 kilogram division. I think I had a highlight of his, but I'm going to have to re-upload it because StreamYard's not letting me keep all of the highlights in at once. So you guys already saw the highlight from Ethan. I'm going to remove that one, and I'm going to remove Paisley, who got a nice ankle lock. Like the fact that these kids are learning foot locks and all that, like they're going to be completely deadly by the time they are adults. All right, so now I'm going to upload Micah's highlights. Let's see. Micah out of 10th Planet Vegas, Filipino. Thank you guys so much for a $2 tip. Hey, stop that. No, please don't right now. I'm not in the mood. I don't want my dog to go crazy right now. Thank you so much for the donation. Anyone that supports this, I'm doing this just for the love of building up Jiu Jitsu. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, the City Life Project. I really, really appreciate anything. If you guys ever have any questions as well, and you guys help the channel, I will always answer those questions first. Bentley, come here right now. Stop. All right, so Micah's... So be careful what you wish for. I cannot play the music with them because I don't want things to get demonetized. But again, Micah also challenged himself to 2 divisions, minus 50 kg and minus 55 kg. And he took first place in the minus 50. And then he also took second place in the minus 55 kg with Elijah Paddock just behind him, another 10th Planet Las Vegas student. So it's really good to see that these guys are doing 2 divisions. I mean, they're driving 6 hours from Vegas. I guess some of them flew, but Isha in the house. I love the camaraderie, y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining and supporting Jiu Jitsu. I really appreciate it. So those were a little bit of Micah's highlights. He's definitely going to be a star on the rise. We already talked about the backpack gang of 10th Planet Las Vegas. I feel like that's a very specific style. I feel like when we get to 10th Planet Freaks, which is San Diego and Oceanside, because they're led by people like Boogie and Gio Martinez, who have had so many awesome performances with rubber guard and different things. You see a little bit of that, but then also just their all-around game is so good. But I really value the, I guess, realistic nature of self-defense. Like, you want to get to someone's back. So I feel like that is such a good way to teach. Something really good to teach kids is getting to the back. Hey, Alex, are you a blue belt now? This is like everyone's favorite question when they come into my group chat. I'll circle back to that one after. No, I'm not, but I'll circle back to the topic of where I'm going to be training. Let's see. Let's get back to the kids. Oh, snap. We're getting to some juicy kids divisions where these guys are on the cusp of entering that adult division. I mean, a lot of these kids have already challenged fully grown adults. We've seen 14 versus 19-year-olds. I mean, I personally was 25 when I faced off with an 18-year-old and I was like, or 17-year-old, and I was like, I can't let a damn kid beat me. And then she beat me. And so, yeah, there's just some demoralizing things that happen when kids beat you. But honestly, it shouldn't be that demoralizing because they're literally starting when they're so young. I think jiu-jitsu is the type of sport where when you start young, it just gives you such a great advantage. I trained at 10th Planet. I really like the style. So now we're going to talk about one of the biggest 10th Planet stars on the rise. He won the minus 60 kg advanced division. And then he also went on to challenge himself, I believe, in another division in the plus 65 kg for 13 and 14-year-olds. So again, someone who's always down to scrap, someone who is always not worried about the cardio playing any part because he signed up for 2 divisions. Let's get on to the number one, the gold recipient for 10th Planet Las Vegas. Winning the advanced under 60 kilogram division is Nakoa Navarro. On Smooth Comp, he's representing Mexico. He's also representing 10th Planet Las Vegas. I believe his dad, Juice, is Mexican, and then his mom is Hawaiian. So I feel like Mexico and Hawaii, they don't have like a big representation for jiu-jitsu yet. They're still on the come up, but I love what the Hawaiian jiu-jitsu scene is doing. We have Submission Battleground coming up February 1st. I'll be helping out with that promotion as well. And then I just interviewed Marcelo Garcia, who opened up a school in Hawaii. So when you have characters like this with the style like they have, and they're putting Hawaii, Mexico on the map, this is huge for jiu-jitsu. For a long time, it was only Brazilians, Americans. Now we're going to start seeing a lot more diversity come up. Representing the Dominican Republic as well, Ana Lopez Beard will be competing on February 8th at Polaris. So she is of Dominican and Spanish background, but she grew up in the UK. So there's a lot of mix coming into the competitive jiu-jitsu scene, which I love to see. But again, those are just some of Nakoa's highlights. Always killing it. Definitely going to be a huge leader for that 10th Planet Vegas team. Yep, these kids are definitely different now. I see them in person and I'm like kind of scared of them. And then I'm also like trying to relate to them. I'm like, so what's your favorite Disney show? Like, I don't know how to talk to these guys. I did used to babysit, but like mainly toddlers. Okay. And then another person on the come up, he's the person who won the over 65 division. His name is Miyakota Hummel. He is a 14-year-old submission artist out of Atos HQ and Granite Wrestling Club. He's also a Hyperfly athlete. I didn't get any of his highlights on here, but I did want to include one of this little thing that he posted. I don't know who he's with, but isn't he just the most precious little human ever? I thought that was a cute picture. I'm not talking about Makoto being the most precious human. I think he looks like a teenager, but the little like toddler that he's with is so cute. I'm like, this is such a great pic. And you can see him there with 2 medals again, gold and bronze. So he is definitely a star on the rise too. He did not post any of his highlights. Yes, these kids are definitely different now. That's cool that jiu-jitsu is growing in Hawaii and Mexico. Yes, I love to see it. Especially I love to see it because I love to travel, and when there's not jiu-jitsu present in a country, it is so hard to train. So I'm just a big advocate of trying to get as much jiu-jitsu in other places other than the United States. And I really hope that people that are growing and are coaches in the United States right now, I think they need to start investing in buying land in other parts of the country and trying to have it grow there too. We are trying to grow the sport as a whole, and I'm going to make a video about how jiu-jitsu will go mainstream because I definitely think it's possible. It attracts a different type of spectator. I think it's more of a little bit more of like an intellectual audience, because jujitsu is such an art that you have to pay attention to the nuances, whereas like MMA, you know, you can kind of tell what's going on. It's just a fight. But I really do think that there is a lot of potential for jujitsu to go mainstream when you have guys like Zuckerberg, Tom Hardy, Mario Lopez, like big names involved in the sport. So I definitely think that's something to look forward to. I think that's all for the kids. There wasn't a whole lot of highlights that I could find on the kids. I definitely think that's probably because a lot of them don't have big presences on Instagram yet, which I will not put my 2 cents in about because I am not their parents. But now we're going to get into the intermediate and advanced of the adults. I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth to cover the masters. But if you guys want someone else to cover the masters at some point, let me know. Let's see which highlights we have from the masters so far. Thank you for the patience. I need to hire a producer full time, but can I ask, will you be involved in CJI2 and if it will happen this year? CJI2 is definitely happening for 2025. My involvement in it is happening as far as I know. But yeah, I got a text message from Craig today. It was a nice photo of his vlogger Rohit, and they are currently in Ethiopia doing some amazing things with Guardian Gym. So yeah, they're definitely on the forefront of spreading jiu-jitsu to other parts of the world, which I love so much. Okay, so in the meantime, while you guys wait for me to find these adult highlights, I wanted to share with you guys some big news for women's sports in general. This is on my Instagram already.
Collegiate wrestling was added under the Emerging Sports for Women's banner. And in the 2022 to 2023 academic year, they eclipsed the sponsorship minimum. So in January of 2025, the NCAA added women's wrestling as an official sport, bringing its total number of championships to 91. Now, female athletes from Division 1, 2, and 3 will compete against each other for titles. The first women's NCAA wrestling championship will take place in 2026. The NCAA Board of Governors also approved $1.7 million in funding to establish the National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championship.
So obviously some really big news in women's wrestling. I remember when I interviewed Coach Mal, like getting women to be on the wrestling scene when they were in high school was such a big deal. Trisha Saunders had to sue the AAU because they wouldn't let her compete. So I know a lot of people out there like to be like, oh, women like to complain about everything, but there's literally evidence right in front of you all the time of women not being able to have the same opportunities as other sports. So I think it's really huge. And I think if you don't have to identify as a feminist to support women's sports. Like, I think you just have to identify as being a good human to help push women's sports in the right direction. So shout out to all the people who support women's sports. And now we get to talk about some of the badass women in the building. I got to have a super fight with some of my 10th Planet Vegas training partners. And one of them is probably my favorite person at 10 Planet Vegas, Nichelle. Nichelle is a purple belt at 10 Planet Vegas. This is the person that I literally had a super fight on. And I don't know how long this took, but I think it was probably under a minute where she got the arm drags. She loves arm drags and represents 10 Planet Vegas very well with the backpack game and immediate finish. I'm like, hell yeah, Nichelle. Getting it done. I think that was in the minus 65 kilogram division. She ended up taking third place in a stack division. Like, the girls go hard. They go hard. AF, 100%. I can't wait for that event. CGI 1 was a serious event, and oh gosh, I didn't see that last part. Sorry guys. There's going to be kids watching this way, so I'm going to have to avoid any inappropriate talk. But yes, you're definitely right. CGI 2 is going to be amazing. All right, so in another division, this girl is a beast. She trains at Sean O'Malley's gym. Her name is Taya Schwartz. Here are some of her highlights. The violent option is the name. She is an absolute beast. I would play the sound, but it's music and I don't want to get demonetized. But absolute beast here. Taya Swartz out of Red Hawk Academy, Soul Fighters, Arizona. In second place for the intermediate under 60 kilogram division was Alyssa Luna. And then in third place was Caitlin Zhu out of Atos HQ. I personally find watching girls guard games to be so entertaining. Like, I like watching wrestling as well, but when someone has a really good guard, I find it very entertaining. And they're literally off of the mats right now. We got notebooks flying around. So aggressive. And I really love the set that she's wearing. The violent option, I think, is the sponsor for it. And immediately she gets to the back. Not sure if she gets the finish here, but she is one sole representative of the Red Hawk Jiu Jitsu Academy. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. Red Hawk Academy. I think they do MMA as well. I don't think it's just purely Jiu Jitsu. So when you get someone from a MMA type gym and they're still doing really well on the pure jiu-jitsu scene, I think that's huge. So let's talk about the adults right now. So 10th Planet Freaks coming in at number 1 at 10th Planet at ADCC San Diego Open. Then you had Legion American Jiu-Jitsu, number 3 Atos HQ, 4 Victory MMA, 5 10th Planet South Bay, 6 Art of Jiu-Jitsu, 7th place 10th Planet Las Vegas, 8th New Wave Jiu-Jitsu, 9th, Gracie Allegiance San Diego, and 10th, Henzo Gracie Austin. So I think all of these schools are out of San Diego that were in the top 5. And then Art of Jiu-Jitsu is in Orange County. This is a big tournament that, you know, all the top jiu-jitsu athletes right now made sure that they were at if they're looking to make a name for themselves. Not to say that ADCC Opens is, you know, the end all be all, but it's definitely a big stepping stone and will get your name on the map if you're trying to eventually compete in an ADCC. I definitely don't think it's something that other tournaments worry about, but now I think the only other highlight that I have of the adults is from this massive human, Ian, and you can just enjoy the big man highlights. Ian got Ian Dabe out of 10th Planet Poway. I know he gets a lot of training in with J-Flow Judo as well. And he's just a massive human being. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. That was complete bull running matador-esque. So he placed number 1, got the gold in the over 100 kilogram division, advanced. Let's take a look at the under minus 100 kilogram division. We had Abraham LaMontagne. If you guys watched PGF season 6, Abe the Mountain was there. He did not post any of his ADCC highlights, but he is super likable. Sometimes, you know, I just hear of people of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu and I'm like, oh gosh, they might not like me. I might not get along with them, but Abe, super likable, speaks Spanish. I think he has a Mexican girlfriend, so that helped him learn. But we were just like sitting on the PGF sideline speaking Spanish. He beat Lucas Narat from Gracie Baja East Mesa. And also Jacob Howenstein from Legion American Jiu-Jitsu got 3rd. Then we also had men's adult minus 91 kg, Kevin Crane. Yo, I haven't seen Kevin Crane in a minute. Good to see him get 1st place. I remember I was around when High Rollers is still going on, but the match that everyone was looking forward to was an Andy Varela versus Kevin Crane match. And Kevin is like the epitome of trash talking. And there was so much build up to it. I was so excited. And then it didn't happen. I can't remember, like Kevin just didn't show up. And I think that is a match we still have to see because there was a lot of trash talk. Men under 83 kilogram division, Jonathan Gracie of Art of Jiu Jitsu got the gold, beating Jet Thompson of the Watkins Wrecking Crew. A lot of people are familiar with Jet Thompson after PGF Season 6, where he went to the finals against Andy Varela, lost to Andy, and his team did not win the team event. So he's been so close to winning money, but he's also super young. So we know that there's going to be plenty more opportunities. And it's very interesting to know, could Jet Thompson be on one of these misfit teams for CJI? I think he's a name not a lot of people are talking about. And in the third place for the minus 83 kilogram division is our own Cam Hurd, who walked away with $20,000 because on Team New Hope Regeneration for Season 7. He was a solid stopper when it comes to the point system at PGF. If you're not familiar with it, we'll talk about it in another episode. Then the minus 70 kg division, Ethan Vistro, got to give another shout out to another Filipino. He didn't post any of his highlights, but I wanted to show you one of his highlights from Tijuana, just because this entry is so entertaining to me. Wait for it. I feel like the guy kind of should have seen it coming a little bit, but immediate tap. And again, I always got to show love for the Filipinos in the jiu-jitsu scene, because again, Filipinos are all about their boxing. We don't really do a whole lot of jiu-jitsu. Oh my gosh, I almost didn't get to Brady's highlights. Okay, so men adult advanced minus 65 kg. Luca Negro from Alpha Miami Grappling took first place. Brady took second place. Brady Branscombe from 10th Planet Las Vegas. And then in third place, Mason Klein out of 10th Planet Allentown. I'm trying to find the division. Okay, here we go. Men adult intermediate minus 65 kg. Brady Branscombe took first place. And then, okay, so he did an intermediate and advanced? I'm confused. Okay, nice. Wow, challenge yourself. I mean, that's the cool thing about no-gi is you can challenge yourself to do other divisions, whereas don't be like me and learn the hard way. You can't do that in the gi, because I went into a gi competition with my white belt in the blue belt division, and I got severely scolded. Luckily, we're on good terms now. Shout out Grappling Industries. They're very sweet to me now. And it wasn't Grappling Industries that was mean to me. It was just a really cranky ref. And granted, I did join the wrong division because I was like, I feel like I'm sandbagging if I do the white belt division. Anyway, let's go to Brady Branscombe's. Yes, shout out to the Filipinos of the world. I don't know, Paolo, if you just saw Ethan Vistro's slick leg lock that he got at ADCC Tijuana Open. But here's some. Oh God, I don't want to get demonetized one more time without the audio. This is Brady. He's at a 10th Planet Las Vegas, made the trip to San Diego, and he was coming off of a super fight, basically warming up at Arte Suave Elite, and then going back-to-back divisions and really showing out. This kid literally had his finger like bent backwards, and he competed the same weekend, and I think did really well at ADCC Open Vancouver. So there's different levels to this stuff. If I had just broken my finger, I would not be competing that weekend. That's just me. I mean, I broke my finger in my third jiu-jitsu competition, and it still hasn't gotten better, and I did a cast and everything. So shout out to all the crazy jiu-jitsu people who just fight through all of their adversities and continue to do so well. All right, guys, that's all the highlights that I have for you. Thank you for joining me for 34 minutes, and we're gonna have a lot more CJI news coming up in the future. Let me know if there's anyone specific I missed. If I did, you cannot blame me because you did not email me the highlights. In the future, when we do these, I am hopefully going to have a videographer go to different events and film stuff for me. So if you have recommendations for that, or if you ever want to be featured on this channel, make sure you get down the email beastswithbrains@gmail.com. And we'll see you at the next one. Don't forget to smash the like button because we need to get this content out to the other jiu-jitsu nerds of the world. So See you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining. Peace.